Good day, this is Eden Yana, and I'm going to discuss problem-based learning, the pedagogical adventure. It says here that the whole art of teaching is only the art of awakening the natural curiosity of young minds for the purpose of satisfying it afterwards. Now, let's discuss the child's natural or his own. The child is an agent of his own learning. It means that the child has his own motor area, his intellectual area, his emotional area, social area, language area, and so on. It means that the curriculum must be thought of in terms of activities and experiences which appeal most to the child. You're not gonna teach a child where the discussion is all about literature about a country, criticizing a literature or a book wherein they are just a first grader, right? So it must be fit from their interest, it must be fit from what they should know, it must be fit from their age, and it must be fit from the experiences they have. And a child learns best when he or she is active. So we should know that um, teaching or discussing something is not just about a one-way talk, or the teacher is the only one who talks. The old curriculum, that's the old curriculum. But for now, we should know that the learning must be active, wherein they could dance, they could move, they could cultivate something. So that is how that that what it should be, an active activity, an active participation, or an active discussion. And also, learning takes place through a continuous process of interaction between the learner and his or her own environment. It says here that when a learner is given the opportunity to discover a new connection of what she previously learned and what he or she presently experienced, or then she begins to form a new knowledge. And this is what PBL all about, the problem-based learning, because it develops the inquisitive minds of the learners. Now also PBL consists of carefully designed problems that challenge the students to use problem-solving techniques, self-directed learning strategies, team participation skills, and disciplinary knowledge. It says here that PBL is all about um, team participation, wherein a peer-to-peer discussion or debate or giving ideas is a very active way in analyzing, getting opinions, and correcting the problem. And also, it says PBL is being described by Blumenfeld as a comprehensive approach to classroom teaching and learning that incorporates most of these principles for capitalizing on students' intrinsic motivation. When we say intrinsic motivation, this is a natural motivation that there is a willingness to learn, there is a willingness to do the project or the activities or the experience. There is no need to push. There must be a willingness to join, to participate, to interact, to expose the yourself to the learning or to the discussion. So this is should PBL all about. It must be honed from the inside so that you could produce something that is valuable or that is satisfying and successful. So there's also a project wherein PBL should produce, wherein this strategy, there must be a project produced by the learners. It says here that it must be a relatively long-term, problem-focused, and meaningful units of instruction that integrate concepts, form a number of disciplines or field of studies. Next, and these are the essential components to projects. There must be a questions. There must be a problem before giving it to the learner so that they would know that there is a finish line for the project and there's a drives and there's a motivation on doing the project. Okay. Activities result in a series of products that culminates in a final product that represents the student's problem solutions. So here we should give the project a project solution, or we should also give this the learner on how they should represent it. It's either from a model, a report, a videotape, a computer program that also the other peers can see, or people can have a feedback, or they could critique the project. And there are motivational elements of project works. Number one is tasks are varied and involve novel elements. So it must not be a constant. It must not be old. It must have a new element. It must be new. It must be useful. It must be timely. So you're not gonna make an old project that can be useful from to 1880s. You should do projects that can be useful to the present, or that can be useful to the future. Problems are authentic and challenging. Now, if you're going to give a problems or a question to the project, it must be imaginable, it must be real, or it must be something that they could reach, they could have a grasp on it, and it will challenge them from that. And also, the work leads to closure in the form of finished product. Again, you're gonna give a project that have a finish line, that you know that there's a solution on it. Number four, students exercise choice in deciding what to do, how to do it. Now, before giving a question or a project, you should also think of a question or a problem is that by you could do it by yourself, and you know how to do it by yourself. You're not going to give a problem that is the students um you're going to give those students a real problem, like a literal problem. So you have to think a problem or a question that is solvable and they could grasp by their minds. Number four is students exercise choice in deciding. Five is they collaborate with peers in carrying out the work. Now we know that PBL talks about the team participation skills. A team does not consist of one person. A team, it consists of five, four. It is a peer-to-peer project, you know. So we should also evaluate the kind of problem, and the teacher should also know before giving the problem to the students is that the project is a collaborative project, and it not just a one mind project. So this is the taxonomy of problem-based learning. So number one is that explanatory knowledge. You are going to explain the problem. You are going to ask questions by using what? You are going to analyze. You are going to synthesize. You are going to evaluate by using what? Descriptive knowledge. So you are going to find the facts, fact finding problem. You're still going to use the questions what? It consists of comprehension. You must understand the facts finding. You are going to analyze the data or the facts that you have found. You're going to synthesize it. Now we are going to the next level wherein it talks about procedural knowledge, strategy problem, and you're going to use the how. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? And how are we going to solve this? By using the facts, by analyzing everything that is in explanatory knowledge and descriptive knowledge. The procedural knowledge is where the stage wherein you are going to think on how you are going to do the project. You are gonna do it step by step because you have facts already, you have data already, you synthesize it already, and you have analyzed it, and you come up into a question wherein there's an answer. Lastly is the personal knowledge, wherein the moral dilemma, and you are going to question what you did, and the question is why, and you're going to evaluate it. And that is